am making my roasted carrots with carrot top pesto.
Oh,
and I love this technique because it's root to stem or nose to tail cooking, and it cuts down on the waste.
Nice.
Which we love. The thing about carrot tops is they can vary from carrot to carrot, so you gotta kind of give them a little taste. I just cut them off, keep this carrot separate, and then I just pick the tops. I don't really want too much of that stem. Sometimes they can be a little bit bitter. So if you're making this pesto, you just have to taste and kind of adjust. Maybe a little extra honey or a little pepper if you need it, right? So we just stem those tops, and we'll deal with those in a second. For the carrots themselves, I leave a little bit of that on, especially in summer and spring when the carrots are tender. A little bit of olive oil to start, right? And that way, everything else that you put on there will stick, right? I've got between 12 and 14 carrots here, and I'm gonna load it with 2 teaspoons of just sweet curry powder.
Whoa.
Ooh, oh, I love this recipe already. Everything about it, I'm loving.
Yeah, I mean, the minute you put the curry powder on the carrots, they just turn into something else, right?
And it doesn't look like you peeled them either.
No. Pepper, right on there, right?
Kindred spirits, Alex.
Yes.
These are one thing put outside in the grill when it's nice hot flame, just like this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, it's so funny. I only think oven, but I would think they'd be really cool.
Burn them,
just
you
low
burn
heat,
them.
you burn them.
You burn them. And you let them cook on the slow after, but you got to burn them first. They're so great.
So I'm gonna roast these in the oven at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes until they're cooked through. And in the last like 2 minutes of cooking, we're gonna put a little brown sugar and pop them back in the oven so the brown sugar doesn't burn.
Alex, great idea putting that brown sugar on there. It's gonna get all sweet and caramelized.
So here are some that are cooled.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can smell it,
I
right?
want one now.
That. And then a little pesto with that. Even though a food processor chops everything up, I find the best use of it is to get everything a little bit ready before you even start chopping. So this is a cup of basil leaves, which I'm gonna add in. And you really need the basil to kind of balance the bitterness of the carrot tops. This is about almost a cup of carrot tops, 3/4 of a cup, just layered in there. Always a pinch of salt, preferably coarse salt, to help get everything going. 1/2 cup of walnuts. So underrated, walnuts. 3 tablespoons of olive oil and a tablespoon of honey.
So, Alex, what do you think the carrot top taste is like with the basil and everything? How's that work?
To me, it's super grassy, the carrot tops. And it's almost like the carrots miss their tops. By the way, big on the pulsing. And it may look a little bit herby, maybe a little dry. Don't be afraid to add a little bit of water.
Oh.
A couple tablespoons. Really, really underrated and cheap ingredient, water.
I'm really into this water in the pesto. I didn't know about that.
So underrated. Touch more olive oil just to bring
Because
it up.
pesto can be so heavy. There's so much oil in it. That's a great,
Yeah.
great
You know,
tip.
if you don't have walnuts, I'm getting into using breadcrumbs instead of nuts.
Really?
Really, I love the mouthfeel of it. It's really interesting.
You mean that kind of sandiness, like a like a toasted panko or
It's different.
what?
It's really different.
Great.
All right, so what do you guys like to pesto?
I love a pistachio pesto with pasta. It's off the charts delicious.
I'm like an arugula with sun-dried tomatoes, but like a real hearty arugula. It's peppery.
Big one.
Balance it out with the little sun-dried tomatoes for sweetness.
Papa
and
Bear
then make
arugula.
it hot.
The big arugula.
Yeah, like a little Calabrian chili in there.
Oh, wow.
I know that this may come as a shock to you, but I love kale pesto.
Oh,
No, I can't
Katie.
What about you, Sunny?
Listen, my favorite pesto is collard green pesto. One year I was growing collards in my garden and I had so many, I just said, let me pesto them. Delicious. But instead of pine nuts, I use pecans, which made sense to me because collard greens always remind me of North Carolina. And pecans are big there.
Oh.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
I just season this up a little bit. I leave the pesto like this. When I am just about to serve it, or, you know, right before, then I add the acid. A little bit of apple cider vinegar, might throw a little on the carrots. Not before. Keep it vibrant green, and when you're ready to serve, just give it a dash of vinegar.
Because the acid will make it less green, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Less verdant.
Kills the color. I also just feel like when the acid is added fresh and it doesn't have time to sit, in this case, it just tastes better.
It's like a squeeze of lemon, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you could really add lemon here, but I kind of like, I like a little apple cider or
Here's the dolloper.
classic distilled white vinegar would be really good. Something really punchy. It's not, it's not a delicate moment for rice wine right now. And I like to mix them a little bit just to drag any last bit. And then you literally can just lay them.
This is a beautiful dish.
So pretty.
Little tic-tac-toe, little 1972 vibes in there.
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit more on top just to let people know that there is no yogurt or cumin on this dish.
No fresh mint.
Well, Katie has the mint so perfect with the eggplant, I thought. And you use those carrot tops. You feel guilty when you bring your carrots home and you just cut and throw away. And in fact, a lot of farmers, they have just a big bag of tops. You can just ask them for the tops.
A lot of them give them to the animals, and it's a really good, makes good compost also.
Is your hamster?
My hamster, I was gonna
Bopper?
say that. I didn't want to bring him up again, but Bopper just eats those stems like
Bopper?
crazy. The stems that you didn't throw away, by the way.
Well, Bopper's gonna have to wait in line because Mama's hungry. I'm doing the Jeezy gather up.
You've got to do that. I'm telling you, it's the way to live life.
Jeffrey makes, if you don't know this about him, he's a big maker of the perfect bite, which I love. And that's when you know food is really an act of love, right?
Can't wait to taste this.
You need the walnuts and the honey to bring that grassy carrot taste out in the tops. And it just makes sense together. I mean, it's not like anybody would ever say, why did you put this together? You put it together, you use the whole ingredient. And in this time of year, such a great move. Carrots, tender, sweet enough with the brown sugar. So good, really good.